Yeah, hello to the TOC meeting on 5th of March. Today we have the agenda to review action items from last week. We will get an update from the Cloud Foundry on Kubernetes working group, go over our PRs, RFCs, issues, and talk about any other business. We have some topics in our agenda. So let's check on the action items from last week. We have one about an retro for FIPS cross group.
Yes. I will go schedule that.
Yeah. So I will transfer to the action items for this week then. Okay, and we had another one to comment on that on the issue we had in our repository about how people should deal with the Cloud Foundry community repos. They want to move to the Cloud Foundry foundation or to our working group, to our GitHub org. Yeah, I put a comment there and closed the issue, so it's done. Yeah. I don't see Georgi in the call about the update from the Kubernetes working group. Maybe we can start with the PRs and yeah, to go over our open PRs, and then if Georgi comes, we can then switch to the update. So I worked a little bit in our dashboards, GitHub projects we had, and decided to update them so that we use the community project again. And yeah, we have now in our CF community project, we have a board about our open PRs. We have one about the RFCs we have, and one about the issues. So we can try with the project, with the community project and these dashboards. If it works well, we can use them. I decided to just try this and see how it works. Okay, then let's open the first one. It's about, so we have a PR to get the Go CF client repository into our GitHub org, or to the to transfer that to the community. So basically, it introduces a new area in the application runtime interfaces working group for the repository. We have the two active maintainers of the repository as approvers. I saw.
Yeah, I commented on it and said that I would support it from the working group, so to say, because yeah, the project is active. The two approvers have worked on the project. It's a Go client that supports the V3 API. It's important to have such clients because V2 is deprecated and has known severe performance problems. So from my point of view, it would be okay. But yeah, it's a new repository, so we have to get TOC agreement. And if we have that, then we could do the remaining technical parts. So first I would have to ask Chris to move over the repository, and then we can think about merging.
I thought it's better to first merge, have it created by the bots, and then delete the thing created by the bots and do the actual move.
it doesn't contain the repositories, and we would need.
Oh, it doesn't create. Ah, I see. Yeah, then
Yeah.
they would, but then they need to also. Anyway, they in this PR they should be adding the repository.
So the idea
well,
is really
right?
to
So-
create to let the repository create by the automation, and then copy over the content. Okay, I can take care
No,
of.
no, no. Yeah, like you have it created by the automation, then delete it,
Okay.
and then just to do a transfer, right? So that's like because it takes like 4 hours to run all the automation, right? So like it's easy to then just do a manual like delete it and immediately do the transfer.
Okay, then I can add that to the Cloud Foundry YAML, and yeah, good. Then we won't merge it right now. I will take care of it, and once I have added it, I would approve it as well, and then merge it, and then I can ask Chris to do the transfer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we did it multiple times for Bosch, and we had a good experience in going that way, letting the automation create the repository. Okay. We have Georgi in the meantime in the call. I will suggest to proceed with the working group update and then continue with the pull requests. Hi, Georgi. If you are ready, you can start.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's sort of a hard time joining because I didn't join since last time and it was the Broadcom transition, I guess. So I had to do some digging of the new link. But anyway,
Sorry, I didn't warn you about this.
yeah, I mean, I was out last week. I don't know why no one replied. I just put some slides together really quickly. It's really not that much of an update anyway. So I won't be wasting a lot of time. Sharing my screen now. Let's see. I think I should be seeing some slides now. Let me go to the proper view. Yeah, so I'm Georgi from the CF Workloads Working Group, March 2024 update. So since November, we have had one new release, 0.11.0, with the primary feature of having the gateway API support. In SAP, we wanted to use, for a long time, to use Istio instead of Contour. And we had some proposals earlier to implement a mechanism for replacing the routing layer. But since the gateway API recently was promoted to 1.0.0, we implemented proper gateway API support using their interface. It's pretty nice. And it's now relatively easy, not as trivial as we would want, but relatively easy to switch to Istio and potentially also other networkers that support the gateway API. For the current users, there's not much of a change. I think there's an additional help property and that's all. So that's the gateway thing. And then we had a small thing PR by a colleague of ours, which adds 2 more attributes to the VCAP application attributes. Like there is a long table in the original CF docs. We now support URIs and application URIs with the contour Istio URLs of the app. So that's pretty much all that's out officially since last time. And what we still have on our plate, what we still plan to do, it's more or less similar to what I said last time, minus the gateway API, I think, which we managed to deliver. We have the user management thing that we want to contribute from SAP. We're still in a relatively early experimentation phase. So I guess we'll get back to the community once we're ready with some proper proposal. For now, we only have prototypes. And this will pretty much make it possible to bring a new AA to Corefi and use the users from the UAA, and they will be trusted from the Kubernetes cluster via OIDC. And then another big thing for us at SAP is the managed service support topic. And to this, I can add the broker support now, because since November, we discovered that we have some prototypical implementation of managed services, which were not yet ready to contribute, unfortunately, but we discovered that for our use cases, we'll also need to register brokers, and that's something we're also working on. But it's the same general direction, managed services. And there is the last bullet for CF roles. That's something that the US part of the team have plans to work on. I mean, there's not been much of an activity, but I have still kept this here because I think this is probably still on their plate, and they're probably too busy with internal stuff like we are. And that's pretty much it, really. I mean, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer. If not, thank you for your time.
Regarding the managed services support, so you are looking to implement it compatible with CF, like with the VCAP services environment variable, or?
Yes, we also want to support. I'm not too sure about this. We had some issues with the service binding IO thing, which is primarily used by Broadcom, but I'm not sure about. We are still to have some internal meetings to clarify if the service binding IO support is also a valuable use case for SAP. But anyway, for the community part, we have to support both, because that's how it is and that's how it's been. So definitely keep both ways of consuming services up and running. It might be that we make service binding IO switch offable, but maybe we'll also need it in SAP. I can't tell you for sure now. But the VCAP application, yeah, that's the standard way, the only way that CF applications consume their services. So we're definitely going to have VCAP. Did I say VCAP applications? I mean VCAP services, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other questions? Doesn't make so. Do you need any help from the TUC?
Nothing that I can think of right now. I mean, it was a rather short notice. So it's I just come back from a vacation actually, but for some reason the other leads did not respond for a week. Don't know if there's something wrong there, but anyway.
Okay, then thank you, Georgi, for the update.
Thank you for your time. Stopping sharing now.
Yeah.
And I'll have to go to do other stuff. So have a valuable meeting, and see you potentially next time.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah. See you. Bye bye. Okay, then we can continue with our PRs. So we discussed this. This is for review. So we have a new PR about inactive users. So I would say we can merge this next time so that we have 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah. The automation still works. And I open a PR to deactivate the templates we have for the issues, at least when we don't have elections. I don't know whether you noticed, but people get confused sometimes when they want to open an issue in our community repository. When you go open issues and you see a bunch of election options. So the templates we have for elections, and yeah, most probably you want to go open a blank issue, which is a little bit hidden. And I think it makes sense to keep the templates because we need them every year. That's why the PI is moving them on to another directory, which is ignored by GitHub inactive issue templates. And we can just activate the templates we need when we have elections. And we have enough tools. Ruben, do you want to comment something? Okay, thanks. I'm watching. Okay, so we have now all PRs. We can check on the RFCs. So the first one about the CV numbering authority, still we wait for Chris here. I will say that this is blocked for now. So and we have a new one about the next LTS release of Ubuntu Noble Numbat, so that we create a stem cell based on that for the community. Yeah.
It's maybe here a bit early to talk about it, but in the long run, we need then to discuss if we want to validate and support two stem cell versions in parallel, because both are still under maintenance, etc., or whether we say at a certain point in time we switch the standard validation from Jemmy to Numbat and say from now on only one is supported. That's what at least I couldn't read it out from the RFC.
Yeah, I think that should be part of this RFC. I think from at least our working group, I think there's like a preference for them both being supported, because like it's quite nice to be able to make bigger breaking changes to the stem cell, right? Because like last time we had to rush, so there's a lot of things that probably should have been removed, or like that we want to align with what upstream canonical is doing. Those could be bigger things that have a bigger impact. So component teams might need a bit more time to get those changes in. So I think it's quite good to have a longer time period where we support both.
But support both means that you cannot change anymore. So it's more that we say before we release Numbat, we want to have more time to.
Yeah,
so it's tricky. It needs to be sorted out, and it has impact on the release notes, on the depths of the validation. Whether we make a shallow validation only, run cuts, that's probably enough for the beginning. But when you say this is the real stuff, then you may need more. So here, I think some more points between application runtime deployments and the stem cell.
Yep, and then FIPS throws another wrinkle in this because when LTS comes out in March, it's usually not till September that the modules are submitted for validation that year, and then that's another 18-month process behind that.
Yeah.
But I also agree that it should be part of the RFC, how we want to validate the versions.
Yeah, not just in CFD. I'd love to see a recommendation for component teams and what we're expecting them to run their tests on.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if we introduce it earlier, it means there's a certain period of time where both stem cells should be supported as working as GA, as something that is released. And that means effort for everyone. That's the price you have to pay. And maybe we can start with similar diagrams that you see from Canonical, where you say this is where support starts, this is where it usually ends. And we can claim that these dates are not fixed because we're starting to gain experience, but at least the ideas should be sketched out. I think that has an impact on all the working groups.
Yeah. So that I will suggest that please add those comments to the PR so that we continue the discussion there and iterate over the RFC. And, it's are there any other questions or feedback for the RFC, or we can continue with the next? Okay, doesn't seem so. Then let's go to the issues. So now we have also issues on our board. So we have some long standing issues. So I think we can skip them today, but we have a new one here. So moving repos from Bosch Prometheus to the Cloud Foundry org. Basically, if we go here to the Bosch Prometheus org, there are 5 repositories. How much? No, more. Sorry, somehow. Yeah.
If this is Prometheus, would this land in my logging and metrics area? I haven't looked over these repos closely. Or where do we think they'd go?
This is the discussion now. First, yeah, my understanding is also that are more used for monitoring the CF stack, not Bosch.
I mean, there's a node exploiter Bosch release, right?
Yeah, we use it for actually multiple components at CloudGov. We've got, it's the primary dashboard, so we're pulling in from CF, we're pulling in from Bosch. Actually, we pull in some stuff from Concourse as well.
No matter where they land, if the repos get added, somebody has to maintain them, right? So it's maybe also worth to think about a new area and who are supposed to be the approvers, and hopefully they come together with the repositories. Would makes it.
Yes. So one point is about the current maintainers have to commit that they will continue maintaining the repositories. The other point is to discuss where they should go, in which working group. So we don't have any process how we should deal with this stuff. Most probably from the foundation side, Chris can check also some regarding the license, most probably the license is fine. The repositories, but
I think for repositories, only repositories we have in RFC, it's RFC 7. That one I
Oh.
used when reviewing this Go client. We do not have anything like how to add a new area to a working group, but I guess this is then in the hands of the working group lead because it's internal. But there is quite a lot of text from Eric about how to decide and who has to decide when repos get added to a working group or not. So this helps at least a bit.
Yeah. Okay, this is good to know.
It's by chance that I remembered this RFC.
I think I will go over the RFC and then try to add a comment what in the open issue. I will encourage you also just put your thoughts here so that we have a discussion in the issue. And then I think we can have more context next time. If you can also, make your mind, and I think we can discuss this next time more deeply. So let's put this in progress. And the rest are all the issues. Because we don't have much time today, I will say just skip them for today and continue with any other business. So I put the first one, but I don't see Chris here. I don't know Ram whether. So I was asked by people, what is the foundation state about contributions generated by AI? Why Copilot?
We haven't done any. If somebody has, are these code contributions or are these like non-code contributions we're talking about? Or I haven't personally come across any in either category. I'd be somewhat curious, somewhat cynical about taking a look at something that people might flag explicitly. If it's good, it's good. If not, we'll take a step back and continue to do it the old-fashioned way.
I mean, one question would be, can I use GitHub Copilot when working on CF repositories? For instance, Cloud Controller, Go Router, whatever. Or do I have to switch it off? Is there any official statement or an opinion about it?
I don't think we have a very strict official position about it. I think if the code meets community guidelines and standards, I don't see why anyone shouldn't make use of Copilot. If it's not pushing people in the right productive direction, then I guess we don't.
Do you know whether the Linux Foundation has any guidelines in that direction?
I'm sure
to know.
I don't have anything handy. I'll take a look and circle back on this.
Okay. I will add an action item then. Okay.
I mean, just from Googling a bit, it seems that at least there's a lawsuit being started against it, against Copilot or GitHub because of open source license issues.
Yeah, I know that there is, I think, one which will most probably define the direction.
So I think it's a bit too early to tell, but it's probably safe to not use it, right? I would say.
I am curious,
It's
like
better.
at Broadcom, we're not allowed to use it. So like none of our commits are at SAP or at where you work, Chris. Do you have clear guidelines on what you're allowed to do?
Yeah, we have very strict guidelines around AI. There's very few bits and you got to get authorization, and they block the hell out of it because, you know, surprise, surprise, government machines are pretty locked down.
I think at SAP you are also not allowed to use it for open source contributions, if I'm not mistaken.
But if you would train it on everything in the Cloud Foundry community org or Cloud Foundry org, then it would probably be fine. We have so many repos there.
It will be nice if you can define the scope of the train, so you are sure that you do not violate any licenses. Okay, I created an action item. So we have another topic. Most probably it comes from Johan or Stefan.
Yeah, is this bug open with the OOM problem on stem cells, recent ones? There are several ways how to work around it. Do not update stem cells, which is no long-term solution. The alternative is simply throw memory on the problem. There's no PR open in the CF deployment project to increase the staging memory from 1 gig to 2.5 gig. And I also don't like the solution for Hello World in Node.js. You need 2.5 gig staging memory. That can't be the answer from my point of view. And that's why I thought I raise it here, because it's a delicate topic. There's no simple yes, no. And maybe there are some options how to address it. I'm not a fan of simply merging this PR. Maybe we can offer an operations file that gives an operator, shows the problem and gives an opportunity how to configure it, but then you as an operator have to opt in, and then you also do a knowledgeable decision about it. That's maybe a compromise. I don't know, maybe it's another idea just to forget about this new stuff in the kernel and go back to the good old version 5.15 that has worked in the past. Don't know if there's a blocker, but my understanding is that 5.15 kernels are supported for 22 Ubuntu. I don't know, but I'm not an expert in this area. But simply merging this PR, I found a bit not a good solution.
Rolling back a kernel is also quite drastic, right? Like, because when are you gonna upgrade it then, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, based on some prior notes from Brian here, it seems a lot of this is just related to still relying on legacy V1C groups. They haven't been able to recreate it in V2. And my understanding, I think V3 is out or coming out in next release. So I personally think the best path forward is to fast track getting V2 supported across the ecosystem. Because if when V3 comes out, V1 will be deprecated pretty much at that point. I mean, V2's been out for a good 3 years now.
yeah, so that would be something that we want to do in Noble, right? We already have something on our wish list, but we've had discussions about Jammy in the past, like, are we gonna make a change to C groups? But then we decided not to do it because it would be like a breaking change, right? So for Noble, we need to make that change.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, we likely cannot expect a fix soon on the stem cell level, right? So we could offer this increased staging memory limit as an ops file for deployments who want to use that.
We know whether this is really only a staging problem because of, let's say, download of big files or whatever, the special usage patterns, or will it happen also in productive applications that then suddenly needs 2.5 times more memory, which is a deal breaker?
Yeah, no, we've seen it at CloudGov in running LPRs, a larger increase in exit 137s and OOM
Okay.
errors as well.
If that's the case, I would again put the option on the table to revert the kernel to an older but still maintained version.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the real question comes down to is how much faith do we have Canonical is going to have a fixed 6.5 kernel to work with V1 in any amount of time?
But I mean, if this fix comes, we could upgrade again. I mean, that's still possible. But yeah, it's a sort of dilemma because security issues on the one hand.
Yeah, like we can't revert, we can't stay on 340. It's a complete deal breaker for us because of all the CVEs that have been patched since 340.
So we were not able to validate on our staging landscapes with anything newer than 340. It just doesn't work.
So maybe Stefan, you can put this point as into the issue as this an option, so that we have it officially in the.
Yeah, I can copy it over, and I mean, offering here an ops file to increase this, that's a valid solution. I mean, we can do that in CF deployment, but I think it's not it's not the solution. Hopefully, let's say it like this.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's nothing else we can do. Yeah. But this C groups V2 migration is probably also something bigger. It doesn't happen overnight, right?
It's a bigger effort. Can anyone explain what is there to do?
It's validating that everything works, as in like Garden needs to work, and like anything else that's deployed on the stem cell, and those things in the past have been hard to validate and like make sure that because like ideally we should like bump the stem cell major version, right? Because it's a breaking change, but that's also not ideal, because then we I think need to maintain 2 lines of the stem cell.
You mean if we decide to go with V2 support, C group V2 now with the current stem cell? Oh.
Yeah, I think that would be a breaking change, right? If it changed.
Yeah.
I think actually that the best path forward is to try to bundle forces against like Canonical and try to escalate this a bit more. So I had conversations with Canonical, and they are open to doing something where they support multiple vendors in a shared ticket. But for that, they want all the people interested in this to open a support case asking for this, right? So that they know, like, officially have the request. So if people from cloud.gov and SAP could open a support request with Canonical asking for them to set up a way that we can do like a multi-vendor issue, I think that could at least allow us to put a bit more pressure on this, with Canonical to resolve this.
We have also someone from Canonical active in the issue.
Oh, 12 hours ago.
Yeah, Matthew Raffo. So so that yeah, we can bring the different options we discussed maybe in the yeah or bring them up for discussion here, and then or should we have some another place to discuss this, not overcomplicate the issue here, which is about oh no, we have only the Slack thread and the issue here, which is focusing on how to fix it. Yeah, we don't have another place to discuss this. Then let's go with the issue and let's see. Okay, I think we discussed this. We have some action items, and we can continue with the next one about. So the next working group meeting will be from the Foundation Infrastructure Working Group. So, so Ruben, for your information. Me.
Maybe we can try again if Joseph Palermo can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I will bring this in our working group meeting. Yeah, good point. And we have another one from Amelia, CFP calls time discrepancy.
Yeah, I was whipping up people to write CFPs, which close Sunday. But Ram, I know you were tagged on this. The docs said it would close midnight Pacific time, but it actually closed midnight Eastern time. And some people were leaving it to the last minute. And so Ram, I just wanted to make sure that they would be able to get their submissions in, or that you're working on it.
Yeah, I heard from Matthew Coker.
Yeah.
He was the only one who brought that issue up. There is a quote unquote backdoor that I can summon with my magic wand. So if there's others that you know of who want to take advantage of that, I can help them out.
Okay. No, Matthew's the
yeah,
one that I
he's-
know about. I wasn't gonna call him out
Yeah,
by name.
yeah, Matthew's taken care of. So I
Good.
sent him a link yesterday, and he was able to submit it. So
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
yeah, it a lot of the discussion centered around midnight Pacific. That's the time zone that I thought it would close into, but I think the newer CFP thing that they're using, Sessionize, I think changes it automatically to the time zone of the event itself. So, which is why it probably was PT on all of the different comms that we sent out, but it actually closed at midnight Eastern automatically. So, sorry about the confusion.
No, thanks for helping Matthew get it filed.
Yeah, sure.
I will extend the notes so you don't need to wait for me. Okay, is there anything else? Okay, doesn't seem to be the case. We are done for today. Thank you for participating, and have a great evening, day, morning.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. See you.
Bye bye.